Imagine a small African nation standing up to one of the world's most advanced powers, banning all their business deals overnight. But what if that sparks a secret digital war, with hidden attacks and brave alliances forming across a continent? Hold your breath as Burkina Faso's leader defies Israel, and Prime Minister Netanyahu unleashes a clever comeback that could reshape global friendships forever. Will Africa rise stronger, or will the clash pull everyone into chaos? In the dusty heart of Ouagadougou, where the sun painted the markets gold, President Ibrahim Traore made a choice that would echo across continents. He banned all deals with Israeli companies, suspecting their tech hid secret eyes watching his people. The announcement came like a thunderclap, stirring cheers from street vendors to school children, who saw it as a bold stand for Burkina Faso's freedom. Traore sat in his modest office. Maps and reports spread before him, detailing how foreign firms might be collecting data under the guise of farm tools and phone networks. He believed this move would shield his nation's future, letting it grow strong on its own terms. Mothers whispered proudly in the markets, and young coders dreamed of building apps free from outside control. Yet, as the news spread, a shadow loomed. Israel, a global tech giant, wouldn't sit quietly. Whispers of their influence reached Traore's ears, stories of nations pressured to bend, of silent digital strikes that could dim lights or freeze banks. He met with his advisors under the flicker of a single bulb, their faces tense. Knowing this was more than a policy change, it was a dare to a powerful player. Traore's heart raced as he spoke to his people on radio, his voice steady but eyes scanning the horizon for what might come. Would his gamble spark a new era of independence, or had he awakened a force too big to fight? The air grew thick with suspense, as computers hummed and the world waited for Jerusalem's next move. In the sleek war rooms of Jerusalem, where screens glowed with global maps, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's eyes narrowed at the news of Burkina Faso's ban on Israeli deals, a direct jab at his nation's influence. He called his top advisors, their whispers sharp as they plotted a response that would sting without a trace. By dawn, a covert digital assault was unleashed. Coded attacks slipped into Burkina Faso's banks, making ATMs sputter, and power grids flickered, plunging markets into brief darkness. Netanyahu's team fed stories to global news, painting President Traore as a reckless upstart, while quiet calls to allies hinted at trade pressures to squeeze Burkina Faso's resolve. The goal was simple: make Traore regret his defiance and force him to back down. In Ouagadougou, lights blinked erratically, and shopkeepers grumbled over stalled payments, unaware of the invisible war humming through their wires. Netanyahu watched from afar, confident his tech prowess would bend the small nation quickly. But he hadn't counted on the grit of Burkina Faso's people, who gathered in town squares, sharing rumors of foreign tricks. Traore's young tech advisors, barely out of school, hunched over laptops, tracing odd signals that didn't belong. The air crackled with tension. Each glitch felt like a warning, each news report a veiled threat. Would these silent strikes break Burkina Faso's spirit? Or had Israel misjudged a leader whose courage was spreading like wildfire? The world held its breath, sensing this shadow game was only the beginning. As lights flickered and bank screens froze in Ouagadougou, President Ibrahim Traore stood before a crackling TV camera, his voice cutting through the humid night like a blade, exposing the digital attacks as a cowardly attempt to bully Burkina Faso into submission. He knew the glitches weren't random. Israel's hidden hand was at work, trying to choke his nation's defiance after its ban on their deals. Unfazed, Traore rallied his people, his words igniting pride in homes from dusty villages to crowded city markets, where families vowed to stand firm. He picked up the phone, calling leaders in Mali and Niger, sharing proof of the cyber attacks and urging them to join hands. Together, they launched the African Digital Sovereignty Initiative, a bold plan to build their own secure networks and tech, free from foreign strings. In schools, kids buzzed with excitement, sketching ideas for apps that could outsmart spies, while coders in makeshift labs worked through the night, hunting for digital traps. Traore's calm resolve turned fear into fire, inspiring even the youngest to dream of outwitting their faceless foes. But shadows lingered. Each restored power line felt like a temporary win, and whispers of Israel's next move hung heavy. Would their quiet war escalate, targeting water systems or hospitals? Or could this new African alliance grow strong enough to turn the tables? Across the continent, Eyes stayed glued to screens, waiting to see if Traore's gamble would spark a revolution or invite a darker storm. The suspense tightened like a knot as every beep of a computer carried the weight of a nation's future. As whispers of Burkina Faso's defiance spread like a savanna blaze, the continent buzzed with a new energy. Africa was waking up, and President Traore's ban on Israeli deals had lit the spark. From Accra to Dar es Salaam, leaders huddled in late-night meetings, poring over their own contracts with foreign tech firms, suspicious of hidden strings after Israel's covert cyber attacks on Burkina Faso. Ghana paused a drone deal, Tanzania rewrote its data agreements, and Kenya pushed for homegrown apps, inspired by Traore's stand. The African Digital Sovereignty Initiative grew, with coders in Nairobi and Lagos building secure networks, while classrooms hummed with kids learning to code their own future. Families gathered around radios, cheering as local startups unveiled apps that rivaled global giants, turning villages into tech hubs. Netanyahu, watching from Jerusalem, saw his plan unravel. His quiet pressure had only united Africa's resolve. Markets once dependent on foreign tools now showcased African-made solar chargers and encrypted chats. But tension simmered beneath the pride. Each new app launch felt like a dare, and rumors swirled of Israel's allies tightening trade screws or planting subtler digital traps. Traore's advisors warned of strange code lurking in hospital systems, hinting at a bolder strike. Would this wave of independence grow into an unstoppable force? Or had Africa's defiance provoked a sleeping giant into a fiercer response? The continent held its breath, knowing every step forward could trigger a shadow war that tested their newfound strength. As dawn broke over Ouagadougou, a new Africa stood tall, its spirit forged in the fire of President Ibrahim Traore's defiance against Israel's digital shadow war. His ban on Israeli deals, once a risky gamble, had sparked a continent-wide awakening, with the African Digital Sovereignty Initiative now linking nations in a web of homegrown tech. From Mali's solar-powered servers to Kenya's encrypted school networks, families marveled at apps built by their own, while kids in Burkina Faso played on tablets flashing local code. Traore walked through a bustling tech fair, smiling at young coders showcasing apps that outsmarted foreign spies. Israel, stunned by Africa's unity, shifted tactics, offering fair trade deals instead of covert strikes, a quiet nod to Traore's courage. Markets buzzed with African-made drones, and villages glowed with stable power, free from foreign glitches. Yet suspense lingered like a storm on the horizon. Whispers of rogue hackers, possibly backed by distant powers, probed new systems, testing Africa's defenses. Traore's team worked tirelessly, patching networks, knowing one weak link could unravel their gains. In Jerusalem, Netanyahu's advisors debated their next move, aware that Africa's rise could reshape global power. Would these new systems hold, cementing a legacy of independence, or would a hidden flaw spark chaos? As Traore addressed cheering crowds, vowing to protect their digital freedom, the world watched, hearts racing. The story closed with Africa stronger, its people united, but the hum of servers carried a faint echo of battles yet to come, leaving all to wonder if this victory was the dawn of a new era, or the calm before a greater storm. Get hooked on the epic tales of resilience and revolution with Faso Histories. Like, comment, share, and subscribe to keep the stories alive and join our growing community.